What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Verbal Garbage, coming at you hot and live. Today, I'm very honored with the Mr. Mike making an appearance on the podcast. So, Mike, if you don't mind, just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what your career is.
Well, what it is, what I'm on here for is to raise awareness on drug addiction and stuff, and basically the traumas of drugs that I've been through in my life. So I'm going to discuss a bit about that today.
Awesome. And where are you based out of, Mike? We can me and the listeners obviously can pick up a little bit of that accent, So tell us a little bit about that.
Can you know? Yes, Glasgow.
Glasgow, Scotland, correct?
Aye.
And were you born and raised there? You still living there, or what's the situation with the living?
I'm still living there. I was born. So I was born in a place called Rutherglen, and that's in Glasgow. But then I moved about Glasgow to a place called Mary Hill.
Okay.
And that's where I was staying for the foreseeable. So I was, but that's where I was brought up. How about yourself?
I'm Florida. I live right now in Florida, but I'm originally from New Jersey in the United States, and I regret to inform you that I've never left the States. So I've only ever been in America, and I'm curious if you've ever left and gone to other countries or anything like that. Have you always ever been in Scotland?
No, with my criminal record.
So I guess we can get started if you don't mind. We talk about the drugs and all that kind of stuff. Were you like what they say in school? That you started smoking a little weed and that was the gateway drug to all the bad stuff, or?
No. See, the weed it doesn't agree with me near it. That I had the adverse reaction to weed. So if I smoke weed, right?
Think everyone's coming to smoke.
It does the exact opposite. So I was thinking to myself, because people with ADHD would have that kind of, what do you call it? They would have that kind of effect. Because when they take Ritalin and stuff, say if they were to take a line of cocaine, right?
Yep.
It would do the exact opposite. So I was thinking to myself, is that what I'm like? And I've not been told, basically.
Right.
My mother's not told me, but no, I've been through many drugs and come out the other side, luckily enough. But if we're going to talk about the hardest one, I started off with cocaine, as you've seen on Greg's podcast.
Yes.
Cocaine was the one.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, were we doing like we see in the movies, rolling up the $100 bills and snorting them, or do you have a different method of ingesting said coke?
No, I would take it any other way. Just up the nose.
Still got your senses about you? Still able to smell some good veggies when they're cooking it?
I actually had a broken nose at one time, and I still was putting it up my nose. That's how bad I was. And my nose was bleeding, and I'm still tipping it up like that.
Oh my god!
But it was a mugs game, so it was. But I was wanting to talk about the hardest drug addiction, I would say, was the benzodiazepine side of things, right?
Are those like depression pills? Is that what those are? I've always heard of like benzo.
No, like Xanax and Valium and stuff.
Okay, so yeah, you gotta bear with me here because I don't know too much about. Like, I smoke a lot of weed and I like to eat mushrooms once in a while, but that's really as far as my dabbling has gone. So there might be some terms. Say that again.
You're like my partner, and she's like that. She smokes a bit of weed. I can't smoke it at all, as you know. But benzodiazepine, for people who don't know it, there is just an anti-anxiety drug.
Okay.
And very addictive. So they are very reliable.
Okay. Now, did you start building up a tolerance to those? Like with weed, you smoke it, and then it starts taking more and more to get you buzzed. Was that kind of the same story with the pills? You start off with one or two, and then you got to start working up?
No, listen, this is what happened, Francis, right? It was, ask your name in it, Francis.
Yeah,
Your name
whatever,
Francis?
whatever works with you.
What happened, right? I came off cocaine and stuff like that. And I started doing bodybuilding, right? And now the benzodiazepines, I didn't know much about them. So I just dived in at the deep end without doing the research, right? So with the muscles and that, when you're doing bodybuilding, to relax them, to recover and stuff, I thought I would use them, right? And it made me feel, it gave me confidence as well when I was doing it, and motivation to an extent. Then it stopped. But when I was taking them, right,
Yep.
I wasn't realizing you're only supposed to be on these like 4 weeks and no longer. And I was taking them. I was taking like Xanax, and I was taking Valium. I was taking Clonopin, and just no thinking the dangers what this is causing till later life when you go through the withdrawals and stuff when you've not got them. If you know what I mean. So
Absolutely. And
if you ran out of weed and stuff, you would probably feel you'd feel the effects are coming off weed.
oh, dude, I hate that.
Have you
Like I
have you
said,
yeah
it's a
have
little
you
bit of
ever
a
felt
comedy
that?
type podcast. Like I like making jokes, but I kind of relate that to me. I was just visiting my home state of New Jersey, and there they're known for like all the best pizza and rolls and donuts, and so I was eating so bad, and then you come back to normal
And the
life and you feel like
boss,
shit.
Bruce Springsteen,
Yeah, overrated.
Bruce Springsteen.
I'm more of a Bon Jovi guy myself. But I don't mean to like turn this into humorous, but I just that's kind of how I do. I talk to people about serious things, and I try to
No,
make my
that's
spin
what
on it.
I like to do that as well. Like put a sort of spin on it, but no, make it like it's a laughable situation. It's nothing to laugh at, but try and make it
Exactly.
a wee bit comical, if you know what I mean. I know where you're coming from there.
But I was
But
curious more like when you started with the benzo and all that, was it more of you chasing a high, or was it more of you trying to treat your anxiety when you were dealing with everyday life, or a little bit of both?
um,
Who doesn't like being a little
I
bit
was
high?
it was a little bit of both, to be honest with you. But to be honest with you, I like when you're doing bodybuilding, you need certain amount of sleep as well,
Oh
right, to
yeah.
recover the muscles and stuff. So I was using it for that purpose and anxiety and stuff that was going on at the time, basically. So there was three different factors to why I was using it. But what I was wanting to make aware of people is just like when they get put on benzos,
Yeah.
please just listen to the doctors or the GPs who tell you you're only on these short time, right? You can't keep taking them because see the withdrawal
Oh
that
yeah.
you have for these that are ridiculous. I'm telling you, you feel like you are going off your nut. So you do, you really do. And it's horrible. I would say it was. I've never took heroin before, right? That's one thing
Thank
I've never
God.
took.
Thank
But
God.
I've heard of people saying that. Have you ever heard of a channel called Vice?
Oh, Vite. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
They said that coming off of benzos is worse than the withdrawal off of heroin, but I can't compare it near again because I've never been on heroin. And like, there's over your way, there's a lot of fentanyl epidemic in there.
Bro,
A
it's
lot of
about to be
people.
Halloween, and there's all these rumors going around about the candies being spiked with fentanyl, and I'm like, yeah, if I don't have any kids, but if I had kids, I
Oh
would not be letting
Jesus
them go out
Christ!
because they're putting fentanyl in candy now for kids. I mean, it's
No way!
yeah, man,
Oh,
it's all over the news, and I'm like, if I'm a parent, I'm just buying my kids a couple bags of candy and saying have fun, or like there's some things where people will pull into like
uh-huh.
a I don't know what they call them overseas, but like a cul-de-sac, like a court, where you live, and it's just like a
Aye,
roundabout.
that's the right word. Right word, aye.
So they'll,
Uh-huh.
all the neighbors will pop their trunks and have like trunk or treat instead of having it be with all strangers and random people because you just can't trust people anymore, man.
Aye, aye. No, that's the thing. You can't trust people. Fentanyl, and fentanyl, it is really, really strong. I know it would kill a Wayne instantly. Honestly, it would kill a kid instantly if they touched it.
It's and there's
I've not
got to be a
touched it,
line,
but
right, man? There's got to be a
I've
balance.
tried.
Like we want to
I
get the most.
know, I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've tried to reach out to a guy for the States. He's had fentanyl addiction and stuff. He knows a lot about it. I want to know more about it myself so I can put it on my channel and stuff and like make people aware, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
But it's like 10 times stronger than heroin. So come on, if that's gone
And I
through
guess people
candy,
hear that, right? And I guess they hear that, and like we talked about earlier, the tolerance, and that starts kind of
uh-huh,
wearing off. Maybe people hear it's stronger than heroin, and they're chasing that next crazy high, and that's how so many people are
uh-huh,
dying. But that's why
uh-huh,
I've always been so fascinated with just smoking marijuana. You just
uh-huh,
if you get tired of smoking the flower, then you can try the pens or the wax. And none of them are addicting. So I don't know. It's just always been my little vice. And I was curious. I heard you talk about your channel. So talk a little bit about that to me.
my well, my channel, I just do like see things that have happened to me in life. If something bad's happened to me in life, I'll tell my story on my channel, so I will, to help the next person, so I will, to like the ways I coped through it, because I don't want to see other people going down the path that I went down and
Yep.
end up the way I was, right? So if I can help somebody with a bit of knowledge, then I will. That's why I like to come on and do these kind of things and make it
That's
raise awareness and stuff.
That's beautiful, man. And
That's
I'm
what I
sure so
do.
many people have gotten help from you, from your previous experience to kind of help them. And sometimes when
Uh-huh.
you're down in those dark, like I can't really speak. I've never really went through any kind of drug addiction or alcohol, but I've known people. And I'm sure it
Uh-huh.
gets to a point where you feel like you're by yourself and you have no one to talk to and no one to reach out to. And now we got people like you making videos on YouTube, kind of helping people through that.
Uh-huh.
So
I've been there before, like I had nobody, but yeah, I had to build on that. Like through drug addiction, I lost my family and stuff, but then I built on it and gained the trust back. If you know what I mean, it takes a while.
oh yeah, man.
But then I found a new partner and stuff, and she's been supportive and
That's
stuff.
awesome, man.
So
Good for you,
it's all been
brother.
good. It's all been good, and that's the way I want it to end for everybody that's gone through it. If you know what I mean, it's gone through drug addiction or alcohol or eating
Absolutely.
addiction, any sort of addiction.
The eating addiction, you're talking to me, boy, because every morning I'm waking up, especially when I'm not, because I was just, like I said, I was living in Florida, but unfortunately we had that big hurricane. I don't know if you heard about it in the
Uh,
UK, but that actually hit my
uh-huh,
house, and
uh-huh.
I'm not able to live in my house anymore because of that. So I'm kind of bouncing around like a little gypsy right now between New Jersey and Virginia, living on couches and beds of my brothers and sisters.
Sofa
So
surfing.
yeah. So I got a little question for you. You know how, like I always say, I suffer from forms of anxiety. I feel like that's a much more
Uh-huh,
common term nowadays. Going through
uh-huh.
what you went through already, is there something that you could recommend people to help lean on to help their anxiety other than prescription drugs?
For anxiety, I would
You know what I mean? If
say,
you're going out to a meeting
uh,
or work and you get nervous around people, or whatever the case may be, and somebody will just
uh,
like pop a pill and go out there. Is there something
uh-huh.
now in your life where you felt like you could show people how to deal with that without using drugs? Do you understand the question?
I understand that perfectly. I say to people, like, try and motivate yourself better and speak to people if you can. I know anxiety, like speaking to people, is an anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Especially what they don't know, right? But if you're really suffering with crippling anxiety, then go to like the GPs. They'll probably prescribe you something like a beta blocker. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Something that's not as addictive as Valium or anything like that. But I always say, like, when I was younger, I never really had anxiety. Neither did when I was younger. It was a word I never even knew.
Yeah.
Anxiety. It was till I got older. I was like, anxiety. Is that what anxiety is? I didn't even know what it was.
I was just gonna say, like, I
You
still don't
know?
know what it is, but you hear, with the support animals on
Uh-huh.
airplanes now, you see people bringing
Uh-huh.
squirrels and gerbils and elephants on airplanes because they say they have anxiety. So it's like it's one of these weird terms where I really don't know the meaning of it, but I know that there are certain situations I go in where I just get a pit in my stomach, or you're sweating a lot, you got to pee a lot. And I feel like that's just a form. I don't know. It's just
Uh-huh.
my own diagnosis of a slight form of anxiety.
Uh-huh. But uh, some of the messes like I've been in, like you ever seen the Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh fuck yeah.
Uh, right, right. Like some of the jobs that I've been in, right,
Yep.
was like that. It was like that, potting pills through work, drink driving and stuff.
Oh, so you've had your fair
No,
share
no,
of.
actually, me being the driver because I can't drive.
Oh.
Oh, I have. I have. But it's been mad. It's been madness, sort of has. But I don't like to. I will say that, but I'll know. I wouldn't advise anybody to take stuff like that and work and
No,
stuff. But
just your
that was me.
experience.
That was me just trying. That was me just trying to fit in with other people because I was quite shy, so I was, and that's how it all stemmed to taking drugs because I was a shy person. I thought
So
what
was
would
it
get me popular,
was it so
and
it
it
was
was
almost like
selling.
the peer pressure trying to fit in type of thing where you're with a group of
Uh
guys and you
huh.
didn't really want to do it, but they were doing it and
Uh
the
huh.
angel on your one shoulder saying, "Come on, man, don't do it," and the devil on the other saying, "Come on, man, be
Uh
cool,
huh.
just take a little line."
Aye, that's it. That's it.
So
Yep, got
how
it in
many
one.
if you don't mind me asking, Mike, how many times have you gone through bouts of addiction and then gotten out of them, and then like have you broken sobriety a few times and been able to get back on? Like, how's that work, or is it just one time you realize you made a mistake and you've been clean
The
since?
cocaine, the cocaine one, the cocaine one was like, um, I was actually selling it, so I was at one point, to feed my addiction.
Don't get
But
high on your own
then,
supply, man. Come on now.
uh aye, that's it. That's it. But once I knocked the cocaine on the head, that was it. It was over. But then
Wow.
when I started other stuff, I started steroids and started fucking.
Oh,
Sorry
I
for
thought I
playing
heard
on your
bodybuilding, and I
show.
was curious if you ever shot up any roids.
Right. And that's when the benzodiazepines came into it. And what else? I tried smoking weed and I was like, oh, no, no chance.
Really?
That stuff that blows me away. Paranoid eye, I'm telling
My
you,
guy will do fucking
just feel
steroids and
awful
coke and
on
pills,
it.
but he won't
I,
touch the weed, guys.
to be
So,
honest with you, I wish I could have.
hey, I just think
It
it's
just didn't agree with me.
definitely not for everybody, but for me, like, my dad, like, he'll drink at night to unwind,
Mm.
and I've always said, like, why not just take a fucking hit out of a bong, go eat a little bit, and just sleep easy. There's no real hangover side effects, in my opinion, but everybody's different. Everyone's chemistry handles different things differently. So you were
But
probably thinking someone was chasing you, trying to get their money
see
behind
the
you.
feeling I Aye, but see the feeling I actually got when I smoked weed, right? It's like I like to be alert, if you know what I mean. But see, weed, when I smoked that, right, that just took me. I didn't feel myself near
Really?
other, and I didn't have my wits about me. I like to
Wow.
have my wits about me at all times, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
when my wits are taken away, that's what it felt like. I felt like, oh God, I felt like I was repeating myself, talking, like saying the same things over and over. And I was
Yeah.
asking my partner, am I repeating myself and stuff? Can I go to my bed?
You're
Can I
like the
go to bed?
guy
I need sleep.
I picture you just
I'm,
smoking weed and then standing in front of a mirror and just like yelling at yourself, giving yourself a hard time.
that's me. That's me.
So I'd be
But
remiss if I didn't ask. We kind of have to dive into the steroids a little bit. I've always been so fascinated by those. I've never
aye,
taken
aye.
them. I'm not. I don't have a big, bicep area, but just tell me a
Uh
little bit.
huh.
How did the steroids start, and how long were you on them for?
Well, I'm 34 summer, so I shouldn't have took them at the age I was taking them because testosterone was still flowing through my body at the time. So um, I just took them because I plateaued. You know
Okay.
that,
Yep.
right? And I couldn't get air a certain weight. And I was like, oh fuck it, I'll get I'll get some steroids, and that'll make me go through. But if I just ate more and took more protein shakes, I would have went through it. But I took the easy option. But you've still got to put 110% effort in, or they don't work.
Exactly. That's what I've always.
So
It's just
the
easier with recovery and like
uh huh,
endurance, right?
The first one I took, the first cycle I ever took was Dianabol.
D-ball, baby, let's go.
30 milligram of them, and it was like 3 a day. You didn't need many of them, you did.
Now, were you shooting
Then
these right in your tailpipe, or how were you applying them?
into my shoulder. No, the
Shoulder.
D-balls was tablets, but then I was shooting testosterone enythate into the shoulder, 250 milligrams. I think it was like 500 a week, 500 milligram a week. I
And
wasn't taking
were you
much.
in the gym every day during this? Like you're lifting weights the whole time,
No.
or you're just
See,
doing it
that's the
just
thing. See, that's the thing. See, when you do bodybuilding, you're meant to spend less time at the gym than in. So less is more, or whatever it is to say. The more you're in the more you're in the gym, it's no
really?
good when you're a bodybuilder. Like you're supposed to only go like 3 times a week because the more you've got to rest a
Yeah.
lot, a lot more than what you're exercising to grow the muscles, or you're just going to burn your muscles away. So, I was only doing it in the house. I've got a gym in the house, right? So, doing it in the house and stuff. We've only like 3 times.
Were
I
you
would be doing
still
it.
getting? Were you still looking like a bodybuilder, like super jacked? Like you see those guys, I'm like, how could they only be in the gym? I would imagine they're in the gym 7 days a week, 2 times a day.
I was, I.
You were.
And must see, like, if I was to start a cycle again, you ever heard of muscle memory?
Yes, of course.
It's like that with me, right? If I start up again, it doesn't take me long to just get back into shape again. It
Damn.
does, and that's a good thing because I've done it so many times.
Sure.
But I don't need to use them anymore. Like with the muscle memory, I just use like mass gainers and stuff.
Okay.
So that's that. I also took do you know what oxys are? No,
Oxycodone or
no
cotton
oxy,
or
no. Oh, no,
I was like, let's
no.
go, baby.
No. Oxymethylone. It's
No.
another steroid.
Can you send me one of
Anadrol is
those?
another.
I'm just like,
Anadrol, they're called.
Anadrol? Is that what you said?
Aye,
Okay,
that's what they're
I
called.
think I've heard of those, but I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts. Like I watch a lot of UFC and stuff. So you hear about
Right.
steroids and certain things, but I have a very baseline knowledge of them. That's why I want to kind of pick your brain. So if you had to go, Mike, and do one final workout of your life, 2 hours as hard as you can go, are you doing a big line of cocaine or are you doing a little D-ball on the shoulder? What's going to get you more through the workout? I imagine, like, I've
The
never done
D-ball.
cocaine and I got all this energy, but I imagine it could give you that crazy
No,
jolt.
that's the thing, see. There's people out there that actually do take cocaine and then go to the gym. So no, I would rather just go natural and just do it. To be honest with you.
So did you never took coke and then went to the gym? I'm just curious if that
No,
gave you like a crazy
no,
adrenaline hype, or
no.
what were some of the
But the thing
activities
is that
when you would sniff some coke? What were some of the go-to activities?
um,
You know me, like I
what do you
smoke
mean?
weed. I like eating chips, watching sports, playing video games.
See, that's the thing. Cocaine didn't like a lot of people have it at dinner parties and stuff, and I'm like, why? Why do you have that at dinner parties? It doesn't make you hungry.
That's what
And
I was wondering.
then when you take a line, right, and you're like, there's a big plate being put down to you, and I'm like, I'm never going to get through that. Putting something in my pocket.
So that's what I'm wondering. Like, what is the cocaine sniffer doing after they sniff some cocaine? Like, I'm just curious because like I said, I've never been in those circles. I've had plenty of friends that have done it for a little bit of periods of time. I've never done it, so I'm just curious. Like, would you go and start cleaning your kitchen? Would you go take a shit? Like, what's on the agenda?
Well, the shit, aye, that happens.
So it's like coffee.
No. See, aye. See, to be honest with you, right? It actually made me. I was enjoying it at one point, but then it started making me feel like the weed would make me feel I would want to be away from people and not associate with anybody. So I don't know. There must be a certain part of my brain, our central nervous system was fucked. If you know what I mean. It was
And were you
totally
still
fucked.
pretty reliant on the cocaine? Like, would you do it multiple times a day, or would you like do one in the morning, one at night, and be good? Or was it like all day.
All day, right? And I would always question myself, why did I do that there? Why did I would actually have it in my hands, put one out for no reason, and just take it, then have an argument with myself. Why did I just do that there? I don't like it anymore, basically.
Well, what is it?
So,
Because you're starting to come down and your body just doesn't like that, and you feel like because you're just so.
no, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that I had it there. I had the stuff there, and I had nothing else to do. Boredom. So it was a boredom.
Yeah,
But it's madness. It is really madness, and that's why I just like to get out there to people, because there's a lot of people struggling with a lot of different substances, and there's a lot of substances coming up now that aren't even real substances.
absolutely.
Like
Those
with these,
gas station weeds and all that crazy shit. The gas station steroids and all that stuff. I mean, it's a dark world out there. But yeah, man, I feel like it's really easy to get trapped in that little pattern that you were in, where you start hanging out with the wrong crowd, or you get a little curious about something, but you didn't make excuses, you didn't blame anybody, and you just kind of came out of it yourself, and now you're doing a really good thing and trying to help other people. So talk to me a little bit more about your channel. Is it like a blog? Is it a podcast? Like, what is it? Like, do you just go on there and just have little talks, or?
I do my daily talks and I do some podcasts. So that's what I do on there.
Do you ever have like fellow friends? Sorry, go ahead.
I run polls as well, right, to see what people want to talk about and what addictions they want to talk about, and whatever addiction it falls on, I talk about it if I've got like experience in it.
Yep.
So what they want to hear, that's what I tell them. And I also ask them if they've got any stories, right? If they've got any stories, like any traumas, like any mental health problems or addictions.
Yep.
A wee 20-minute video, send it in, and I'll air it on my channel.
Oh wow! So just
like
you'll air other people's personal accounts.
Yeah, aye. The thing is, but if they're too shy to come on the camera and stuff, I would say that to them. Like, just date yourself, send it through to me, and I'll air it for you, and I'll protect your video for you.
That's awesome,
basically.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
that's
so
cool, dude.
Get their story out there.
So yeah, that I find that to be a really challenging part of this whole thing. I mean, I know you're saying some podcasts, some not, but I've kind of started this just as like a passion project. You know, I love it. And we talked about anxiety earlier. Like, I used to be terrified to do this with like my brother or sister, let alone like me and you were messaging back and forth on YouTube. I didn't know your name. I didn't know anything about you. I'm like, let's go. You know, so you get so focused on like trying to make a format that other people are gonna like, but when it comes down to it, I'm just coming on here to try to get better at my people skills and talk about fun things that I enjoy. So I really can't thank someone like you, man, who doesn't know anything about me, coming on and just giving your story. And
I'll always give you a mention on my channel.
Hey, man, that's right. And I'm not even necessarily doing this like to get big or anything. It's just like after I do these, you know, I talk to someone for 40 minutes, I get off and I just feel so good, you know. Especially someone like you, brother, that is coming on here and they're talking about something that's, you know, has a stigma to it, where some people might think, oh, drug addict or pills and all this.
This is the addiction I'm on now.
That monster, dog.
Aye.
That stuff's dangerous, baby. You ever feel your heart pumping out of your chest when you're drinking that shit?
I think that's the substitute to cocaine.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always found funny. You know, you can go to gas stations and buy alcohol, you can buy cigarettes, you can buy that monster shit, but marijuana, the big thing I'm on to, it's still got this whole stigma to it. Now, is it decriminalized in Scotland or anything, or is it still like Schedule 1 drug?
No, yet. It's still a Schedule 1, but it should be getting decriminalized, I think. I don't see marijuana as a drug.
No, it's a plant.
To be honest with you, I do not see it as a drug. Even though I'm not a fan of it, I still don't see it as a drug.
See, it's funny because
at one point it was Class B.
Yeah, it's
now it's Class C over here, so it is. But where you are, it's decriminalized, isn't it? So
yeah, like it's starting to be decriminalized. You can start buying it in stores now. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's madness.
It's just crazy because I'm 30 years old, dude, and I'm like, I grew up my whole life where it was the worst thing in the world. Now, like, you can walk into a store and just buy it. It's fucking crazy.
I can't imagine that walking into a shop and just grabbing some weed. Oh,
Dude, like I was in
What was that
California
like the
last
first
year
time that happened?
snowboarding, and I was able to go into a store and buy like cough syrup with THC in it. They had pre-rolled joints, they had cookies and cupcake, like everything you can imagine. So it's a whole new
Yeah,
wild west.
have you ever tried that RSO, Rick Simpson oil?
No, no, I haven't.
No, it's like this black. It looks like a liquidy stuff,
Oh, and people
but
like
it's
put it
all
inside of
came.
joints and shit.
Aye, it looks like ink, so it does.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then you're putting on top of whatever it is, right? And there's a smoke in it. It's RSO. It's called. It's meant to be really, really strong. And it's got other stuff called shatter.
yes. See, I've done shatter where you got to get like the problem with shatter and wax is when you're doing it, you feel like a fucking crackhead because you got to get a little
Ah.
glass set up. You got to hold a blowtorch and heat it up for 40 seconds. And I remember my mom came in and saw me. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just getting ready to smoke some crack. No big deal." Because you don't know the difference. You know what I mean? Like it literally is weed crack. And yeah, the stuff you were talking about earlier, I thought that was funny because like that stuff comes in syringes, right? And you're supposed to like melt it down and then pour it. And I remember the one time my mom and dad saw me and I was holding a syringe. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to inject some weed into me." They're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "You can't do that. I'm just kidding, you know?" So I don't know. It's funny to see like the older generations' interpretations of the newer era of weed and marijuana that's coming out now versus like, my mom when she was younger, she would get a joint, roll it up, and smoke it. Now we got, like you said, chapstick and deodorant with weed in it. So it's a crazy world.
That's it. It's socially acceptable, I think, still to this day.
Well, I mean, you go to drinking parties, man,
Marijuana or weed.
and everyone's got their glass of
That's
wine or
it.
whatever, a social lubricant. I'm like, what's the difference if I just want to take a little bong hit and go talk to all you drinkers, you know?
And the other thing I would say is like, what causes the most violence, weed or alcohol? Obviously, alcohol causes more violence than
Yep.
weed. So there you go. They should be selling it
It,
everywhere.
it's
I think
amazing.
anyway.
And I like how you're, some
Uh,
people that don't like it, they have this whole like anti stance on it. At least like, hey, it's not for me, but you can at least see that there's really not much harm to be associated. Like, I don't know if you saw in the news last week or something, some mom let her kid get into edibles and the kid passed away and now she's charged with murder. So I guess the first weed death has been documented.
Oh, right.
Now I don't know if you can just attribute that to
Right. That's the
THC,
thing
but
as well. There, see the edibles as well. There's a website. I'm sure you will have one across where you live as well, right? Where you can like test all your drugs, right?
yep.
You send a sample in, and they test it, right? I've been going through it and I've seen edibles, right? And I've no had CBD or THC in them
Yep.
at all. It's been other stuff it's been
You don't know
cut
what
with
you're getting.
because it's so easy. So no, you don't know what you're getting.
No,
No, you do.
it's a shame, man.
So my message would like to tell everybody if you are going to do drugs, always research them
Yep.
because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how addictive they are, and you don't know what it could get you into. Like you end
Absolutely.
up selling.
Real quick, Mike,
Anything, you know what I
we
mean?
probably got about less than 30 seconds. So tell the people real quick where they can find your YouTube channel, what the name of it is, and it'd probably get cut off after that.
Hashtag all you need to see.
All you need to see. So it's ALLU need the number 2 and then C. So check out Mike's
And
channel,
see.
guys, and
Aye.
I plan